Hey guys, it's BW and we're back out in the garage. We're going to pick up where we left off. We're going to try to get this glass to sit down properly on this quarter panel on the driver's side. Maybe we'll get into something else, I don't know yet. We'll see where this video takes us. Stick around and check us out. Alright guys, well I'm going to pull you down off the camera stand and just do a real quick recap for anybody who didn't see the last video. Just to know where we're at and what we're doing, okay? We decided to go with the stationary glass with the rubber seal for our back glass on our gasser. All right, because there's not going to be anybody, we're not going to have a back seat, there isn't going to be anybody sitting back there. So we're going to go with the stationary glass. You guys already all know we put the full quarter in, including the window frame. I probably should have tried to leave the old window frame like I did on the passenger side, but you live and you learn, okay? So far, we had to make these bends ourselves. When this comes from the manufacturer, it's flat. So we had to bend this one over and down. And it's at different thicknesses the whole way down. That's what makes this bottom tricky. The top is completely different monster. You have to make a 90 degree here and then another 90 degree within a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch spacing. And it also is bent at a different wide thickness, or however you want to say it, wideness, if that's even a word, the whole way down. So when I go to put the window in, it wasn't sitting correctly and it was kind of in and out in certain places because I'm obviously not perfect. I've never done this before. So what we did was we took a wafer wheel and we cut this edge right here because it was hitting right here first. It was hitting right here and all along here. So we took a wafer cut, which was about a little less than 1/8, and then we tapped the metal over. That got our window very close. We're still considerably far away right here. I don't want to say a lot, but enough to where that lip isn't going to work. Now, I had temporarily tacked these and forgot about it here and here when I was doing the formation under here, so it wasn't moving in and out. Whenever I hit against the window frame, I wasn't pushing it out, if that makes sense, but that's what I did. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these tacks off, this one and this one, just take them off, and so that I can tap this in a little bit with a block. And I'm going to, because it's only from here to about right here, and then we're going to see how the window fits. All right, it should get us a lot closer. We're still having a little problem down here, but we're going to work that out as we go. I think I should also tell you guys, and you should note that I showed you these clips that I made on live. I think I might have showed them last video. I come to realize they're a little too bulky at this bend because I welded that on. So I made a couple more out of sheet metal with no weld, they're just bent. I made this one, and it's a little longer tail on it because it's a wider span right there than this one here. But they're the same thing, you know. They're serving the same purpose. They're just going to hold the glass from falling down in. So I'll just temporarily tape them up with that masking tape right there just to hold it, and then we'll decide how much we got to shim them up or down, and we'll cut plates, or I think Fiano used washers to shim his. We'll see, we'll get there, but first we got to make the glass fit. So let me get these tacks cut off and get the glass in position, and then I'll bring you guys back in. Okay guys, well, I've been playing with this for a little bit now, probably about 2.5 hours. I got it pretty close. I wanted to bring you guys in, show you what I'm thinking. I'm gonna need some garnish molding screws. I'm gonna have to stop at the hardware store tomorrow and get some. All I have here in the shop is self-tappers right now. But I wanted to bring you guys in. I just got it sitting in there. All right, there's a little tiny gap right up here, but it's not too bad. And I think when I screw you can see I just have the garnish molding just sitting in there right now. All right, but I think when I screw the garnish molding in, it's going to press against that window just enough to where it almost touches right there. If not, we might have to do a little slice right here like we did down the bottom. I haven't welded any of that yet, and I don't want to until I make sure the lip is going to fit. All right, we also have one little tiny spot right there. Everywhere else, it's really good. Once I get this all welded back up and shaped in, it's gonna be all right. I got a couple hammer dents that will require a slight body work, but nothing too awful bad. And I feel like, for never doing this before, replacing the inside quarter and a full outside quarter, window frame and all, that window fits pretty darn good. All right. Now, I didn't try to bring the lip up of the rubber up on here, only because I got slices right here and I don't want to cut my rubber till I get this welded and smoothed out. But I feel like it's gonna work. That's as far as I can go today though, because I'm gonna need some of those garnish molding screws. I'm gonna get a couple different varieties of what I'm gonna use. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, so it holds 5. And I feel like when you can actually see when you press against this a little bit, and if I screwed that in, that closes that up, and that lip seal should go right on there. All right guys, I popped that garnish molding off and got it sitting on the bench. I just wanted to show you real quick that we have it clamped in there. There's nothing holding the window in right now except its own being in there, and it's just in there tight enough. I've got 2 washers here and 2 washers here. And it's just enough to kind of hold it. It's pretty good, guys. I put a self-tapper because the tape wasn't going to work because of the weight, and I had to shim the window up. So I ended up putting a self-tapper there and a self-tapper down there, and then shimming the washers to hold the weight. And it looks pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with it overall, but like I say, we're gonna have... Hey guys, sorry, real quick, in case any of you were wondering about the brackets. I just wanted to show you how they go in. I got a 90-degree fold there and a 90-degree fold there. And they go in, you know, those little clips for the felts. If I was gonna use a roll-up window, they just go right into where the felts are. That's all there is to them. And that's gonna hold the window from falling down in there, and the garnish molding and the rubber will seal the water, and the garnish molding clamps it in. So it's Sunday evening and everything's closed, especially with the pandemic and all. So I'm gonna have to go to the hardware store tomorrow after work, and I'm gonna pick up a couple different size screws, figure out which ones I wanna use with this garnish molding, and I'm gonna screw it on, see how tight it gets it against the window against the frame, and see if I can be comfortable about doing that lip. We'll see. So I'll bring you guys back in when I get to that point. Maybe tomorrow night, if not tomorrow, Tuesday night, because I've got a little bit of wiring to do down that house. All right, so I'll catch you guys in a day or two. Take care. Hey guys, it's PW. It's the next evening, and we're back out in the garage. I went ahead and I went and got some screws from True Value. They're not the right head. There's like a taper that has to go on these. I looked them up on eBay. I'm gonna buy the right ones, but I think I got the right size for now. I think they're number 8 screws. I was looking at the old holes in the skeletal pieces from before, the 3 top ones that I'm reusing the holes, and they look like number 8s. So I bought those, and we're gonna go with that. I got it clamped in there right now, and it's working pretty good, and I wanted to bring you guys in and show you real quick what I got. So let me bring you down off the stand and we'll look at it. All right? So the first thing I want to show you is, yes, the window is in there. I went ahead and I brought the seal out in this one little area. That's all I'm going to do because I haven't welded this yet. I'm so afraid I'll rip that seal, but I wanted to show you guys for effect how it seals. All right, and it's going to work good. When I do it for the final test, I'll use a little bit of soap and water so everything's taken care of after I've welded these pieces back up and smoothed everything out real smooth so that we don't rip the rubber. All right, so that's what we're doing. But for right now, look how tight the window's in there, man, guys. I'm pushing against this window right now. Look, my whole car, I don't know if you could see that, but the car is shaking and this window ain't moving. So we did a good job. All right, now it's sitting nice and tight everywhere. I'm comfortable that the seal will work everywhere. All right, up here, from about right here to about right here, there is a little opening there. It's less than an 1/8, but there is a little tiny opening. I think it's still gonna work, guys. I could actually put a little screwdriver wedge right in here, right here, and I can actually close that up a little bit more. And I might, when I go to weld it, do that. I just don't want to change the shape out here too much, because this out here only gets like a, I'm going to use seam seal. I'm going to tape it and seam seal it up, because there is some kind of seam seal over here on the passenger side. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. It's because it's painted black, but trust me, I could scratch at it a little bit. Let's see if this little piece of TIG wire, I can scratch at it a little bit. See, it's white underneath there. That's some kind of seam seal. So that's the way they did it at the factory. That's what we'll do. All right, I got a couple little dings I'm not crazy about on this that I did, but I'm sure that we could body work them out. I got, you know, one right there and one right there and a couple down in here, but I'm not overly concerned. All the hammer and dolly work I had to do to make this fit, that isn't too awful bad, so I can go with that. All right, so let me show you here. Now this clamp, trust me guys, look, I can rattle. It's super loose, and I got rags to protect from scratching. I just didn't want to put the screw in the garnish molding here or down there because I got a fresh little pilot right behind there and I don't want to mess it up. So we didn't even push that backside in. It could actually go in a little bit more. But you guys saw how tight that's holding the window right now, and we're really happy with that. So I think tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a time lapse, and I'm going to weld this up here, here, and here, and we'll time lapse that together, and then we'll smooth everything out. I also have to put this little piece back in. It goes up into this corner behind the garnish molding right there. It goes right in there, and it fits. I already looked at it, so I got to put that back in too. So maybe we'll do all that together tomorrow evening, and then once I get that welded, grinded, get that piece in, and we do the last test fit, and I get it to the position is where it is right now, at that point we'll go ahead and we'll pop the lip seal and make sure that it's going to seal. But I believe it will. I believe it will. All right, so I'm pretty happy with it. After all we went through to get this far with this window, I couldn't ask for a better job right now. So let me get this stuff put away, and we'll get back together tomorrow. We'll do a little time lapse, get this video moving forward. See you tomorrow. Hey guys, it's the next day. We're gonna do a little time lapse. I'm gonna get this frame welded in and get these seams I cut loose welded up and blended with the grinder. We'll time lapse it, see how it goes. Stick around, check it out. Guys, I didn't realize my camera was so low it died, but we got it charged back up. I figured it'd be a perfect time to bring you in, show you what's going on. I'm getting ready to go in and get a sandwich, so I figured why not bring you in for a minute. I've already grinded this section up through here, welded and grinded, and this section right in through here. You can see, bring it down on it, come out really nice. Up through there, same thing there. You know, and it's the same with everybody else. You know, you just put little welds as you go. You end up with what almost looks like a bead, but it's just little spot welds the whole way down. And I'll show you how I deal with those. I always start with a rotary file. Now you got to be careful with these things, man, because it'll go into that metal quick and it'll ruin it quick if you don't know what you're doing, or if you don't pay attention to what you're doing, I should say. But I always file it down to where it's almost flush with the sheet metal, and after I get it to where it's almost flush, that's when I switch over to my sanding pad. All right, that's personally how I do it. One of the things you got to be careful with that though is you got to watch out for the splinters. So I always pull the vacuum out in between and vacuum up as much of that debris as I can, because those rotary files will make a whole bunch of little tiny splinters everywhere. So that's where I'm at. I'll get this grinded out. I'm gonna go in and have a sandwich first, and then I'll come out and get this grinded out. I'll bring you guys back in. There's a few more things we need to get addressed. All right, see you in a little bit. All right, guys, well, I got this last portion, the big long one, sanded out. Show it to you real quick, show you what I'm gonna do next. And then we'll get ready to do that window. Come out really nice. It was from about, I guess about right here, all the way down. We sanded it as smooth as we could, and we got the edge as nice as we could. I don't see any pinholes. I mean, maybe we'll put a little smudge of that seam seal when we get it in all the weld places, but looks pretty good. I mean, we got it sanded down really nice. Just to show you, if you look inside there, look at all those little burrs. I'm gonna get those all vacuumed up real quick, because I gotta climb in there in a couple minutes, and I don't want to get any of those in my pants. That's for sure. But let me grab this real quick. All right, so our next job was this filler piece that we've been talking about, I think the last video. It goes right up in here. Let's see if I can get that stuffed up, and it goes right up in there. So we'll try to get that done. Let me get it set up. Let me get these burrs cleaned up, and then I'll bring you guys back in. All right, guys, we got that filler piece in. It's all right. I'll show it to you real quick, and then I want to go get the glass and see how we look with the glass. But it's in there. It's this piece right here. It just looked like a big dead spot when that window was in and the garnish molding was on. It didn't look right without that piece. It just matched up what I had over there. We had to do a tiny bit of reshaping. Now, we haven't welded the window in along here or right here yet. We're gonna make sure the window fits first. Once we realize that it fits, we'll button it up and be done with it. So right now I want to just put the window in, and I want to see if we can set the lip, and if the lip looks all right and everything's in, we're gonna call this good. All right, we still got the, I have it sitting down in the basement in the warm. Man, there's still a pucker there without it even being in here, so I can only imagine what this pucker is gonna look like. So we'll look and see. But like I say, it's puckered right now, and it's just on the glass, and it's been in a nice warm house for a week. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, well, we got the window in. Looks pretty good. I had to play with it a little bit. I've never done this before. But I'll let you guys check it out, you know. All right, so the window's in, and I even put the lip all the way around. Okay, I hope I did a good job. It's touching everywhere. It's in there. It's where the number was, right there. All the way down. The only problem I'm having is right here. It's not quite touching, you know. I can't get the window to go any more forward or any more up. And it's really tight in this corner, so you can see it's, and I'm thinking it might sit down a little bit. Maybe I could add a little bit of body work right in through here, I think, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? The window's in. I did have to pilot these the screw here on the end and the one down the other end, because it just wasn't, the molding wasn't tight enough against there. Because I don't know, I mean, we did the best we could with this ridge here, but it, you know, it needed this garnish molding to really push against it. And then I had to take this rubber right here and then just push it down like a little 1/16 of an inch just to make it sit right, so that it's not, you know, I don't know how to describe it. But it's that's as close as BW can get it. I mean, and I don't think that's too awful bad. We had the full quarter with the window and the inside quarter, and I'm grateful that Chevelle Ranch sent these garnish moldings, because I couldn't have tested the job without it. You know, I got to get the correct screws. I got the correct size, but they're not the correct head. But it's holding it. And it's pretty cool. I mean, you guys can see, I don't believe this window will go anywhere. Let me see if I could stand back and show you. I'm pushing and the whole car is shaking, and I'm pushing on the glass. See that? And the whole car was shaking and the glass didn't move. All right, the rubber's in. So fairly happy with it. I did put, if you look down through here, there's like little tiny marks. I'm hoping they'll go away on the rubber, because I mean, I just used where's it at? I used a little awl, but I mean, I didn't punch through it. The little marks in this are from actually coming up over the lip of the car. And I found that I had to keep loosening up on the garnish molding in certain places to make it easier to pop in, and then, you know, tighten the garnish molding back up after it was in. And I didn't have to fight it too awful bad. I mean, it kind of went right in, but you know, these little, I don't want to call them, they look like waves, but they look like they're already going away as the rubber sits down. I mean, it's really, really cold out here, so I don't know if I should just leave it in tonight or just take it out now that we know it's going to fit. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to call this job a success. You know, I'm going to stay with the stationary glass. It's in the car. It looks great. I'm really happy with it overall. I already know it's going to drop in the passenger side. You know, we did this whole quarter and the inside quarter, the window frame. It's a little funky right here in the corner, but it looks like it's already starting to sit down. So we're happy with it. So I don't need my regulators and my tracks anymore. So I'm going to box them up and I'm going to ship them down to Lovett Speed Shop. He's down there in Kentucky and he's doing a 4 to 2-door conversion, and I bet you he could use these parts. So I'm going to box them up and give them to him. I'm also going to stick a link to his channel up here in the upper corner. Why don't you guys, if you haven't already, go over and check him out. He's got a really cool thing going on. He's a really talented individual. He's got a heck of a project going, and I bet you'll enjoy it. All right, so anyway, I really enjoyed making this movie. I was so worried about this video, excuse me. I was so worried about this job. I was afraid it wasn't never going to fit. Well, it fits. So we're going to pack it up, put it away, and we're going to figure out what we're going to do next week on our video. But for right now, we're going to call this a success, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.